Hello everyone. Well, myself Dr. Rajeshwari HV, working as an assistant professor in chemistry, JSS College, Gokak. This is my second video on chemical energetics and ionic equilibrium 1. In the previous video, we had learnt about three important laws of thermodynamics and the advantages and limitations of learning thermodynamics. In this video, let us understand the basic terminologies that is used frequently in thermodynamics. The first terminology is system and the second one is surrounding. Together, system plus surrounding is equal to universe. Of course, the definitions have been given here with example. Now, before we define system and surrounding, let us understand this with the examples. Now, as we know, system plus surrounding is equal to universe. This is a simple test tube in which the decomposition of sodium hydroxide is carried out in the acid medium to give carbon dioxide. The reaction mixture is present in the test tube, acts like a system where the surrounding air is nothing but the surrounding here. Now here in a beaker containing water, a piece of aluminium is immersed here. A piece of aluminium makes a system while the water surrounding is the surrounding. Now remember, system plus surrounding are separated by the boundary and boundary may be real or imaginary. And there is always exchange of heat between the system and surrounding. So if the system is an open system, there will be exchange of matter also. Now with this examples, let us define what is a system and the surrounding. Now let us define a system. A system may be defined as any specified portion of matter under study which is separated from rest of the universe with the boundary. A system may consist one or more substances. So the example, you can take a beaker containing water is a system and the surrounding air will be the surrounding, and the system and surrounding may be separated from the rest of the universe. System is separated from rest of the universe with the boundary. Now boundary may be imaginary, real or rigid boundary. Based on that, we can classify the system into open system, closed system and isolated system. Now what is the surrounding? The rest of the universe which might be in a position to exchange energy and matter with the system is called the surrounding. So surrounding generally implies it may be air or it is a water bath in which the system is under examination, is immersed. So I give an example that piece of aluminium is immersed in beaker of water. So piece of aluminium is a system whereas the surrounding water will be the surrounding. Well, as we know that system and surrounding is separated by the boundary. Now based on the nature of the boundary, if the boundary between the system and the surrounding is imaginary boundary, so then we call that system as open system. So remember, if the boundary is imaginary, there is exchange of energy and matter both with the system and surrounding happens. In an open system, so we can define open system as a system is said to be an open if both energy and matter can be exchanged with the surrounding. So in an open system, the boundary will be imaginary and it can exchange, a system can exchange both energy and matter with the surrounding. Whereas if the boundary is a real boundary, so then system can exchange only energy with the surrounding. That is, if the boundary is real, so there is exchange of only energy between the system and the surrounding. Now such a system is known as closed system. Now what is a closed system? In a closed system, there is exchange of energy with the surrounding. There is no exchange of matter in case of closed system. There is only exchange of energy because the boundary is a real boundary. Now if the boundary is an imaginary rigid boundary, right? So if the system has a rigid boundary, there is absolutely no exchange of energy nor matter with the system and the surrounding. Now such a system is known as isolated system. Now we can define an isolated system. An isolated system, if there is neither exchange of matter nor energy with the surrounding, a system is said to be an isolated system. A simple thermostat is an example for the isolated system, whereas there is no exchange of matter and energy with the surrounding. So a beaker containing a closed container containing any reaction mixture will be an example for closed system. There is exchange of only energy with the matter, energy with the surrounding. There is no exchange of matter. Whereas an open beaker containing the reaction mixture will be an example for open system. There is exchange of energy and matter both with the system and the surrounding. Now well students, now based on the nature of the boundary, so we can classify the system into three types: open system, closed system and isolated system. If the boundary is imaginary, we can say there is exchange of energy and matter with the system and surrounding. So then we say it is open system. If the boundary is real, so system can exchange only energy with the surrounding, then we call such a system as a real system. If the boundary is rigid, there is no exchange of energy nor matter with the surrounding, then such a system is known as isolated system. Well students, now let us understand what is a homogeneous system and heterogeneous system. So let me quote an example first. Homogeneous system, if you mix dissolved sugar in water, you will get a solution, clear solution. Definitely the solution will be uniform throughout and there will be no layers of separation. Then such a system which is completely uniform throughout is known as homogeneous system. So we can define homogeneous system. Homogeneous system is said to be homogeneous when it is completely uniform throughout. In other words, homogeneous system contains only single phase. Okay. Now let us move to the second type of system, that is heterogeneous system. For example, if you mix oil and water, definitely we have two layers. Oil floats on the surface of water and the water is more denser than oil, collects at the bottom. You get a clear two layers or two phases. That's why heterogeneous system is not uniform throughout. So it contains more than two components. Now let us define heterogeneous system. A system is said to be heterogeneous when it is not uniform throughout. In other words, heterogeneous system contains one or more phases. And we are using the word phase frequently. Now let us define what is a phase. A phase is defined as homogeneous and physically distinct part of the system which is bounded by surface and is mechanically separable from other parts of the system. So this is given for your information. Now hope you have understood the two types of system, that is homogeneous system and heterogeneous system. Now let us know about properties of the system. So certain properties like macroscopic properties such as pressure, temperature, volume, mass are required to describe any system. So pressure, temperature, volume, mass are known as macroscopic properties and these are also known as state functions or state variables, because since it depends on the initial state and the final state, that is present status of the system, that's why these properties are also known as state functions or state variables. So we can relate using ideal gas equation. We can say that PV is equal to RT, where P is a pressure, V is volume, R is a gas constant and T is temperature. Among the three, we have three variables here: pressure, volume and temperature. Pressure and temperature are independent variables, whereas volume is a dependent variable. if any two variables are known, automatically the third variable volume can be fixed. So that is the meaning of this ideal gas equation. For a homogeneous system, pressure and temperature is fixed if it is known. Fixed means if it is known, volume becomes automatically fixed. Now hope you have understood. If the pressure and temperature is fixed, then volume can be automatically fixed. If the pressure and temperature is known, volume can be automatically fixed. And macroscopic properties are further divided into two types: extensive properties and intensive properties. Now let us understand what is extensive properties and intensive properties. Now, the mass, volume, energy, heat capacity, all these properties are known to be extensive properties, because all these properties, mass, volume, energy, depends upon the amount of the substance or size of the system. If the size is big, then we say it is extensive property. If it depends on the size, we say it is these mass, volume, energy, they all depends on the size or the amount of the substance. So extensive properties are the properties whose value depend upon the amount of the substance or the size of the substance. Now look into these examples: pressure, density, temperature, surface tension. So these are called as intensive properties, because these values does not depend on amount or the size of the substance. So intensive properties are the properties whose value does not dependent on the amount of the substances. Well students, there are some more terms to be understood. So we'll understand the different types of processes in the next video. Thank you.